Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel'sIrishPub.com. Time for another movie review. Who's excited? Raise your hand. Alright, we got one person excited. Good enough for me. Then I will continue. Tonight's movie is Happy Death Day. I know, another horror, mystery, thriller kind of movie. I know it's not something I'm normally into, but I do what I do and I do it for you. Let's get to the numbers real quick. The Rotten Tomatoes, 71% from the critics, 66% from the audience, which is interesting, and 6.6 from IMDb. Actors and actresses, Ruby Modine, M-O-D-I-N-E, is the only one I recognize, and the only reason I recognize her is she's in Shameless, Lips On Again, Off Again Girlfriend. She's a waitress. So if you watch Shameless in the later seasons, she's in it. That's the only person I recognize on this, and I'm sure there's a bunch other. They will be down below in the comments. But it's about a girl who gets murdered, and she has to relive this day over and over again until she figures out who killed her. So it's Groundhog's Day and a horror movie. So without Bill Murray or the Groundhog. But still, you get it. We'll see what it's like. An hour and 35 minutes shouldn't be too long, too bad. I'm excited to see what it's all about, and I hope you are too, and I'll let you know more about it in a crossfade. I'm back after the crossfade. Told you I'd be right back. Thanks for waiting. Still watching Happy Death Day. We're at the 49-minute, 54-second mark. What have we learned so far? It's kind of like what they told us. It's Groundhog's Day, but a murder mystery. She's trying to find out who kills her. So she, I think her name's Teresa, they call her Tree as a nickname. She's the main character. It's reliving the same day over and over again, trying to figure this out. But a little background on her. She's a sorority girl, a party girl, self-centered, a little bit, friendly with the fellas, if you know what I mean. To say it in a nice way. So that's, she wakes up in another dude's room, doesn't even know where she's at, that kind of girl. But she's trying to piece together, who's trying to kill her. And it also seems like at this point in the movie, not a spoiler alert, but it seems like every time she dies, like the injuries might be impacting her as she wakes up again. In the beginning, it's kind of like, it's a good kind of scary, not scary, but like slasher in a sense kind of way, urban legends maybe, or things like that, where, and she's going through the day and then the guy gets her at the end of every day, and she wakes up and tries it again. Well, it gets to a point where she starts trying to figure it out. She understands what's going on in a sense and thinks, I should figure it out. Then it gets silly for a little bit, you know what I mean? It really gets silly for that stretch where she's trying to figure it out. So a little, not great there. Up until that point, it was okay. I liked it a little bit more, but I think she's past that part now, that silliness, and she's moving forward to see how she can find her killer. But she's got a lot of enemies, so I don't want to say much more. I have my own theories, but I don't want to give it to you. Maybe I should at this point. Nah, I'm not. I'm just going to keep watching it here, and I'll jump back in a little bit if anything gets more interesting, or I'll give you my final review with the credits. But now you know a little bit more about this movie than just what I've read to you in the beginning. Alright, see you in a little bit. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Happy Death Day, or is that what it's called? Yeah, Happy Death Day. So, it's funny, real quick, they do actually reference Groundhog's Day in it at the end. He's like, this kind of reminds me of Groundhog's Day, obviously. He stole the plot and just made it a scary movie or a horror movie. It's not really scary or horror-ish, maybe mystery-ish. So if you watch this, hopefully you'll see what I see. Like I said, in the beginning, a little bit entertaining, yes, they stole the idea from Groundhog's Day, but it's kind of interesting. Let's see what happens. Where does it go? She's got to figure out who her killer is, and then, get a glimpse of her life, of how she is, and okay. And then it gets silly, like I said, for a little bit there. She tries to figure it out. It gets really silly, kind of like when Bill Murray tries to, whatever. I'll stop referencing that, but it gets silly, and I was just, And it moves past that, and it starts to seem like, okay, maybe she's getting somewhere. And then at the like 1 hour mark, in and around the 1 hour mark, I think everybody's like, okay. I think the writers, directors, producers are like, okay, we did that whole part where she's reliving her day. She's got to figure it out. Now let's sit down and figure out how we're going to explain who the killer is. Because at the 1 hour mark, they just throw this whole thing in like out of left field, and it's like you're thinking, oh, could it be this guy? Could it be that guy? Could it be that girl? Because she's in a sorority, all this kind of stuff. And then out of nowhere, it's like this. And it's like, okay, nowhere, that wasn't built up anywhere. There's no story behind that. But at the 1 hour mark, you get a lot more information, and that's a key to the whole thing. And so then they play that out for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and it's like, okay, all right, can't wait to tell everybody about this part. And then there's the twist at the end. And, a little bit different than what they played out for the last couple of minutes that they surprised you with at the 1 hour mark. And it was just like, okay, the twist is terrible. Okay, so that's bad. But at least they came together and said, maybe we shouldn't do this. Let's twist it up at the end and really mess with people's minds. Which, okay, not a big, crazy twist, but the final conclusion of how it all happens at the end is ridiculous. Almost like in an 80s style. I can't explain it, like with the camera angles and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. The best part is, so obviously she makes it too. I'm gonna, you know what I mean. But it's all about figuring it out, who did it, and everything like that. And I think the best part is, so if you watch this far and you're gonna watch the movie, I'll pause it because this is the best part of the movie. So pause it for a second if you want to see this. If not, continue on. Okay, the best part is every morning she wakes up in the dormitory bed with some guy that she's never met before. We've already discussed this. And I kept thinking this myself. So finally, it's over. She does what she needs to do to stop Groundhog's Day. And she wakes up in the same scenario. And the boy's there doing the same thing that he's always done. And she starts screaming and flipping out. And he says, I'm just kidding. I thought that was funny. I thought that was something they should have done, at the end, but then they did. And that was probably the best part of the movie. I'm going to go with a 5 on this one. I mean, the first 20, 25 minutes, it was at least entertaining. It had some promise. And then it really went downhill after that. I wouldn't really recommend it. I don't know. It's a 5 for me. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe there's something appealing in what I said or what you see in previews, and maybe you want to watch it. Let me know if you do. Love the comments. I'd really appreciate it. At least watch my review and hit the like button and all that jazz. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I helped you, saved you from a movie. If I didn't and you watch it, you gotta let me know. KimmelsIrishPub.com